Welcome back to the Gyrl Podcast. I am Kyra Mitchell-Lewis, and I am so pleased to have Mel Ava, who is a creative strategist and founder of Mel Ava Creative, with me today. She is actually going to talk to us today. I'm really excited about this topic. She is going to tell us some tips and help us to find our vision and build the business of our dreams. So if you are tired of your 9 to 5 and you're ready to take that leap, Mel is going to be here today to talk about her story, as well as give us some tips on how we can do the same. So welcome to the Gyrl Podcast, Mel.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, why don't we go ahead and get started? And why don't you tell the audience about a little bit about yourself?
Okay. So I'm Mel. That's short for Melody. I am the founder and owner of Mel Ava Creative, which is, like you said, a creative agency specifically targeted to entrepreneurs, both aspiring, hustling, scaling, whatever you be at. But I'm here because I'm really like a recovering corporate hustler myself. I spent the last 10 years, 10, 12, more like 15 maybe. I spent that long really trying to make other huge companies and other like really big brands lift themselves up even greater with innovation and creative strategy and really good business foundations, market research, vision trends, all this like really exciting stuff. But they don't need my help as much as the people I really want to help do. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to take the leap and come out and get on my own and help the individual entrepreneur, the one that's like, you know, either they know they have something to give or they're like, what do I have to give?
Right. Yeah, definitely. So with your business, what type of women do you normally work with? I saw on your site that you have a couple. I loved it. First of all, I loved you had the list of, you know, if you're looking for this or if you're here, can you sort of talk through some of those for the audience? Because somebody might be sitting there right now and wondering, is that me?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, if you feel like you're super visionary, like if you have incredible ideas, if you're creative, if you have a lot of experience in something, or you have an innate ability at something, and you know you want to kind of figure out where you fit into the marketplace, how you can create something new and original and innovative, and then bring it to the market and really stand out from the rest of the crowd, I can help you do that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if you have shiny object syndrome, if you've been like trying to the last, you know, however many years, and you've been like, okay, I'm selling this product and now I'm trying to sell this product, and you're moving from MLM to MLM, and you're, you know, always excited when you first start them, but then nothing like really fully sticks. Yes. A lot of times that's because there's just like some parts missing there. There's some pieces of yourself you can't see. And I always tell everybody it's kind of like being able to see the forest through the trees. Mm-hmm. It's like so hard to do that for yourself. So if you're someone like that, if you're working a 9 to 5 and you're like, I'm over this, I'm giving so much of myself to this company and I'm seeing nothing in return, especially women are, you know, I unfortunately have seen it myself. I've seen it in my friends. I've seen it in my clients, where you go to work and you really bring it, right? You bring all of yourself to this job, and the company and the team benefit. They benefit so highly from your presence, but you don't necessarily benefit as much. Right. And wait, wasn't that my idea? You know, and you see a campaign or you see some amazing new thing they've come out with, and you're like, wait, that was my idea in that company meeting like a year ago. And they're just kind of pretending it had nothing to do with you. And I think it's that piece that people forget when they're working a 9 to 5, or you're working 5 jobs or whatever it is. There's a piece of you, there's a zone of genius within you in each one of those areas of your life that we can pull and actually make into a real business. So yeah, that's how I feel. I know you love a few of the things that you saw on my site, so feel free to share.
Yeah, no, I love that. But I also liked you desperately want greater insight into your own uniqueness.
Oh,
And that is, I think that is one of the things that, even if you were a person that you were not necessarily going to step out into your own business immediately, but you're in corporate America, I think for women, it is so important to find the thing that makes you unique. I think in the corporate world, a lot of times people feel like there's this one model or this one template that you have to fit in to be able to achieve success. Now, is that true in a lot of corporate workplaces that people are made to feel that way? Yes. But I think, not only is it important for the person to understand what their unique capabilities are, but it's also important for, HR departments and managers of people to be able to pull that out and find those things that are, what those people bring to the table. But I think when you know yourself, it's easier for you to start to exercise that in meetings, in the corporate setting.
Absolutely. 100%, 110%. It is corporations. As much as you wish you could be this amazing, unique version of yourself, that doesn't usually work with a corporation because you're filling a job title. You are a one body that has the skills they need to perform and achieve an outcome. And that doesn't always give you the best insight into who you are and how you can show up in the world as a different person. Right. But somebody that is geared towards doing that for you can absolutely show you a new reality for yourself in sometimes just a matter of like an hour-long call. I've literally seen that happen. Because it's surprising. And we don't have another just quick thing to add to that. It's so imperative for women, especially to find that part of themselves, because even in our lives outside of work, we're always filling roles. Mm-hmm. So you're the wife, you're the mother, you're the daughter, sister, aunt. You're always these roles. You're the friend, you're the caregiver, you're the funny friend, the caretaker friend, the nice mm-hmm. friend, the bad girl friend. Like you're always these friends, right? You're always right. roles. And sometimes we don't choose those. We're just born into them. And then the other people that are surrounding us are basically forming how we see ourselves. Mm-hmm. If we don't ever take a minute to find somebody who isn't part of that circle, who isn't part of that world that you've been in, who can go, oh my gosh, you are, a magical star. Look at what you have to offer that you just thought was nothing, right? Or people in your life have been unknowingly and absolutely usually not on purpose taking advantage of those things that you mm-hmm. have to offer.
Yep. Oh, and, yeah.
I just think that that's a really big piece that people also forget is if you never change the perception of yourself based on where you've been your whole life, it's really hard to get where you're actually trying to go.
Yes. Yeah. I love that you brought that up because that is so important. And especially, like you said, not only in the corporate space, because generally who you are in that space it lends itself to both your business and personal. And, I was having a conversation with someone who really it allows people to sort of show them, that perception of who they think they are. Like that is just who they've made that person feel like they are. So this person sort of is always wandering through life, like not really assured of their abilities, or always sort of feeling dismissed by other people. And, and I was just like, no, you have to teach people how to treat you.
Yeah.
And even if that means retraining people, how to treat you. I know that because I did that myself. You like the things that maybe you said yes to before, maybe you're not saying yes to those things. It is exercising your personal boundaries with personal, with work life, and being able to not looking for validation from them. Like the validation comes from within you. It's you affirming to yourself that, I know that I am this, or I am able and I'm capable. And it don't need for someone to tell me that I'm these things in order for it to be true.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I definitely think that is something that women have to grab onto, is our own self affirmation and not looking for it from other people all the time.
Absolutely. 100%.
Let's see. There was also one other thing there were a list, and you've gone through some of these things, but your other statement around wanting more joy, fulfillment, and fire in their business and in their personal life. And I just love that, because that is definitely something that I have talked a lot about this year, is being intentional in finding joy. Because I'm like, joy is different from happiness, people. Happiness is fleeting. You will be up, you will be down, you won't always be happy. But joy, and joy is probably something different for each person. But for me, it is peace of mind, it's serenity, it's calm. And I just think that you have to be intentional. So I love I love that one as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. Joy is definitely different for everyone, but what you described is really honestly how I was really meaning it. It's when you can go to bed at night and feel fulfilled from your day and feel lit up with the things that you've done and the things you've accomplished, regardless of whether that's in work or in personal life. If you can feel that, and then you can also wake up the next morning centered, calm, clear, excited, happy, like all the things that are so different from a lot of the ways that we feel in society on a regular basis.
Right.
And especially for entrepreneurs. And I've been in this place. I've 100% lived and walked exactly what I'm talking about. So I have been the woman who wakes up in the morning and is like frazzled and panicking and anxiety ridden because I don't know how I'm going to make it. I don't know how I'm going to make money. I don't know how I'm going to survive. Am I ever going to get out of the corporate grind? Am I ever going to be able to do this? And then you try to do it and you're like, this isn't working. There's so much competition. I don't know how I'm different. And there's all of these horrible things that just come surging through your body. And the opposite of that is joy. 100% beautiful, glowing joy. You wake up, and you're certain, and you can take decisive action. And at the same time, that action feels like rooted in peace, because you know that you're doing exactly what you want to be doing.
Yes.
So I 100% agree.
Yeah, I love that. So while, since we are talking about leaving the grind, tell me, what steps did you take when you were deciding to leave your corporate job to start your own business?
So one of the very first things I did, to be completely frank, because I didn't do this by myself, and I'm not going to run around pretending like so many people do that I just figured out how to do it all. No, I didn't. I have a friend who's a branding kind of expert, and I paid for 3 sessions with her, and we talked about, I had somebody, basically is what I'm getting to. I had someone to talk about my life, to talk about things through, that actually gave me strategic advice and perceptions and awareness of who I was and what I really wanted. That was stage 1. I created something that I thought was going to be exactly what I wanted to do, which was figuring out, helping people find their purpose in life, which I didn't really gear initially to business. I was like, oh, let's just find your purpose. Sometimes that has nothing to do with business.
Right.
And tried that out, crashed and burned. I hated it. I was waking up panicked. I was that girl I was just describing. And so then I got super, super serious. I stopped kind of thinking, I think people say this, but it's so true. And I can't remember who really preaches this. It's probably Brene Brown or Tony Robbins or someone great. But it's basically when I stopped betting on myself. And I like, because I was actually betting on myself to lose, realizing it. So I wasn't really taking things super seriously. I was like, oh, I'm going to, if I fail, I'll just go get another job. And there was like all of this kind of, I might not work out, and that's okay. I'm still going to be happy with my life. And it was when I decided that's not okay for me. And when I was like, okay, I'm absolutely never stopping. And that's my new reality. I'm never going to stop until I know what I'm doing, where I'm going, how I'm going to serve people, and I'm going to be there. So I had already made a very, very strict decision that this was my new normal. And I definitely would say to anybody else listening who is aspiring or is currently trying to figure out their business because it's not working, figure out where you haven't decided 100% that you're in your business, because that is a huge factor. So there's some mindset stuff that's always first, in my opinion.
Yes.
And then you need to figure out your zone of genius. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. I'll absolutely recommend the book by Gay Hendricks, The Big Leap, I believe. Yeah, The Big Leap. And that is a book to really understand the different levels of genius and the different levels of you, and that it's okay to not do everything. I think that's actually a really big takeaway here. Is so many of the people I work with, and I do specifically like to target coaches and consultants, because I believe that those are the individuals that are actually needed the most in the world, because they're usually the ones with an extremely powerful story or history that can absolutely change the life of someone else. And so who I really like to help. So if you are a coach or consultant, you've got to just go ahead and be cool with knowing that you're not going to serve everybody. And the sooner you can accept that, the better your life's going to get. So really, and a lot of people call that niching down and targeting your ideal audience. Don't even think about those things until you decide what it is that you want to do. Because if you decide all based on your ideal audience, so if your ideal audience, well, most people say it's people with income, right? It's people with money to hire me. And it's like, great, that's wonderful. Or they want to be a life coach. And I have such a heart for life coaches, because I totally understand where they're coming from, but it's too generic and it's too vague. So I always tell everyone who's in any kind of situation like that, to harp in and hone in on exactly what change you're looking to actually create in the world. Because that change, if you reverse engineer that change back to yourself, you know what steps to take next. And that's huge. Another one would be listing out the skills that and this is actually one of the easiest things to do. Pull your resume out and look at every single skill that you've listed on there, and then print it out and flip it over and start writing all the skills you haven't listed, even if they're as simple as really good at listening to people. I don't care what it is. If it's a skill, write it down, and then go back through those skills, and every single one of them, look at one of them and think about if that's monetizable. Oh, would someone pay me for this skill? Maybe it's not a skill you want to do, but put a little mark by it if it's monetizable. Especially if you think other people are growing a business or in a thriving business that have that same skill.
Right.
Then go through, and of the ones that you start that you know are monetizable, I always say put a heart next to the ones that you really actually like doing. Like you're like, oh, I kind of like that. Use that as the very basic foundations of how you're going to build out this new idea and this new journey for yourself, because you're going to show up every day in this business. And if you make that commitment, I was just talking about, you're never leaving it. So you've got to make, and now I'm not saying you're not going to evolve. Women are evolutionary creatures.
Yes.
All about that. I have reinvented myself 600 different times. All about it. I think that that's actually really important for us. And I actually believe, I won't get it too far into it, but I believe that we are reinvented every single month. And I think that we have new things that come through us and new things that form in us. And I think that's a huge gift that we've been given. So, but that, just to say, the foundations should be things you really love to do that you know you're skilled at. And you're welcome to go through and then rank those things. How do you feel like you're a professional at it? Is it a skill you can get better at by learning more? Is it a skill you can take courses on? Is it a skill that you naturally developed through your life, or some kind of trauma, or some kind of experience that was so powerful that you had an awakening? And now that awakening has led you to be basically this master at this skill. And actually, a lot of times, the significant skills that people bring to the table, they don't even realize, is they've had some kind of huge life experience. It taught them things that nobody else knows, and they need to help the people that are either about to go through that experience or have just left that experience. And I can promise you, the amount of people there are in the world, there's always somebody looking for you, no matter what it is that you're bringing to the table.
I like that. I think that's an awesome process.
Yeah.
I thank you. I thank you for walking through that. That was pretty fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Because I don't think most people would do that. I think I've never thought about like, oh yeah, look at my resume or, whatever, and flip it over and then start to look at what could be monetized versus what cannot. And then looking at what I like to do, what I love doing, I should say, versus, no, I think that's great. Yeah. Now, how do these steps play into your clarity checklist?
Okay. The clarity checklist I have is really, it is geared to stem from that activity.
Okay.
So clarity checklist is kind of second step.
All right. I love it.
That checklist, and then you take those skills and you apply it to the checklist, and that's just a fun activity to get you even more laser focused in on that thing you're going to be and that thing you're going to offer.
And this checklist, guys, you can find on her website. Go into her website and just joining her email list. And I downloaded it, and it's very eye-opening. So I liked it a lot.
It's just really fun.
Yeah.
It's something that people probably don't know, because I don't think I said this anywhere in the check, or maybe I did. But that checklist is actually something that the last innovation and design thinking firm that I was with, that's just a really great condensed version of the big version that we take corporations and big brands and like 7 and 8 figure coaches through. So you're actually getting like the version you need.
Right.
Built on what big companies use to formulate amazing ideas and amazing offers and programs and products and designs and all of that. So it's kind of cool. I don't think I said that in there anywhere.
Awesome. So, well, speaking of working with Mel, let's talk about the programs that you offer and how someone might get started working with you.
Yeah. So I offer 2 levels of programs. One of them is called Innovate and Create. That program is all about, really being able to have super clear foundations and structures to this new life you're trying to build in business. So the business foundations are so important. And I'm actually building out a really great freebie right now that's just going to be about business foundations. And I'm going to put that up on the website really soon. But whenever someone comes in to work with me in Innovate and Create, it's usually 6 weeks. And you can show up with a business that is just not working. You can show up with a business that you've changed 16 different times. You can show up with no idea at all and just a list of your skills because you heard this podcast, right? Like literally you can show up like that. And by the end, you will have your business foundations outlined. You will have a business idea, and it will be something that's viable in the marketplace. Because something I do that other coaches don't do is I actually take my 10 years experience and I use that to help you find and understand the market research behind you. So making sure that what we're creating together is going to be something that the marketplace needs, and that you're not following a trend, but you're actually creating your own. And those are the people that stand out and they scale the quickest. I'm not saying that's always great, but if you're looking to be long-term, scaling quickly really helps financially. So those are the processes. And then zone of genius is someone that's like, potentially just really multi-talented and has absolutely no idea how to turn those things and figure out what her genius actually is. Maybe it's a bunch of things and it's like overwhelming, or maybe it's, I have no idea what I'm a genius at. And you really need that perspective that you've never had before. And that's a really quick program. That's like a 90-minute phone call. It's super affordable. Like it's so easy. And you can always upgrade into Innovate and Create later. I give everybody a free, usually 15 to 30 minutes, sometimes 45 to an hour, just depending on our personalities and the way we talk. For a free call, a free strategy call. So I will literally talk to you and it's free. And I'll be like, oh yeah, we're a great fit to work together. And if we're not a great fit, another thing I prefer to do that a lot of people don't think is a great idea, but I think it's going to catch on. I will refer you to the right person. I have a massive network of people in my, virtual briefcase. I've worked with so many different people and so many different brands that I know the right fits for people usually. If I'm not the right fit, I'll tell you where to go. Or if it's not the right time for you to invest, I'll tell you what book to buy or what program to go take that's going to help you get just a little closer to your goal. Because I don't think that there's enough of that going on.
Right. No, I agree with you. I think that's great. No, I think that's excellent. I mean, you're not just going to take somebody's money if you don't feel like you're in a place to help them right now. So I like that.
I am not about that bad karma.
Right. Well, I think that's really great. And I mean, in just this short amount of time, you have given out some great nuggets. Like,
awesome. Okay, great.
It's been fantastic. So before we jump into 5 things with Mel, tell everyone where they can find you online and how to get in contact with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my website is Mel Ava Creative, MELAVA creative.com. And literally you can just pop on there. There's several different links where you can see that it says book a free consult or book a call with me now. You just click on that link. It'll pop up a calendar and you can choose whatever day and time works best for you. If you don't see a time and date that works really well, you're welcome to just click on the contact me tab and send me an email. Actually, if you're not someone who's big into telephone calls right away and you need to like warm up, I have a lot of people that actually send me emails going like, so tell me, I don't understand. Tell me a little more. I didn't want to book a call yet. I was too nervous, right? And that's cool. I'm actually the same way. I usually chat or email first. So feel free to do that. I'm super open to that. I will just mention though, that I only have like 4 spots left for 2020. So if there's nothing available immediately, don't get your hopes down because I do have all kinds of resources I give out to basically fill the time between when I have a spot open.
Okay, awesome. I love it. And I also, I love that I appreciate the honesty of saying that, like you don't always like a call first either. Yeah, I'm definitely the same way. I'm like, can we just email first?
Right. I'm the same. I'm an introverted extrovert too. So I'm like, can I just research you like a lot first, make sure you're not, and then send you an email.
I know. It's so funny. I was just having that conversation with somebody yesterday. I was like, well, like I'm an extrovert, but I'm an introvert too. And it's like, I'm on. And when I don't want to be on, I don't want to be on.
I'm so the same way.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're going to move into 5 things with Mel. I like to do this with people. So first question is, how do you start the day?
Well, technically I walk my dog, but like a personal habit, I actually formed this early January of this year. So before all the craziness happened, I wake up and I journal. I set a timer because oh, I can't, like, I just need that timer. It's like an escape for me. So I set a timer for 3 minutes and I literally just write without thinking for 3 minutes. I don't have an intention. I'm not like one of those people that's like, write about your hopes and dreams. I don't do that. I just write for 3 minutes because I actually find that whatever I wake up thinking about is something I need to address, whether it's in my business or in my personal life or just a goal that I have, or if I haven't stuck to a goal and I feel guilty, if I write it out, it makes me feel a little better. Like, okay, it's out on paper. I got to address this. And that's really helpful for me. So I journal for 3 minutes after I walk my dog.
I love it. I love it. Question number 2, coffee or tea or both?
So this is, people are going to be like, who is this girl? So I actually drink mushroom tea. And it's not the crazy woo-woo psychedelic-y. It's just, it's like, so it's called chaga. And it is this extremely healthy immune boosting tea made out of mushrooms, but it tastes like coffee. I can't handle caffeine. I'm a little bit like high strung as it is. So mushroom coffee, but it's flavored and it's delicious.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, number 3, what project are you most excited about right now that you're working on?
Oh, yes. Ooh, I'm so excited about this. Okay. So I am developing a way I haven't figured out the full logistics of it yet, but I am developing a way to be able to give one individual either monthly or every other month a free strategy program with me. Somebody who I'm still trying to work out the development part of it and how it'll work and how I will choose who gets it and all of that sort of thing. The idea actually came to me when the Me Too movement kind of happened and Black Lives Matter came out. And I just realized that I want to use the privilege that I've had my whole life to give back. So I'm going to be giving somebody like a 90-minute full strategy session, zone of genius session. And it comes with a full business foundation planner filled out for free to someone who deserves it. And awesome. So I'm trying to figure out right now how I'll do it, but I'm excited because that lights me up.
Yeah, no, that's great. And when you are ready to launch that, I'd be more than happy to share that with my audience of people. I mean, there are a lot of network people that are entrepreneurs and would really benefit from that.
That's what I want. And I believe it's just going to be like people emailing me and like just giving me like a little backstory.
Yeah.
Me like what they would do with this, like why it would matter. Because that's really important. I want to give it to someone who it's really going to matter.
Exactly.
And make like a huge difference in their life and their family.
No, I agree. I think that's awesome.
I'm working on that right now, trying to figure all of it out.
Fantastic. All right. What's one goal you've set for 2021? And that can be a business or a personal goal.
Well, okay. So I think I'm going to go with business goal because that's kind of like what I've been trying to manifest out for this next year. Okay. I want to be able to hire people. I want to be able to like give out work to individuals, to not necessarily meaning that they're like under me, like not like I'm like their boss.
Yeah.
But I want like co-creation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have like a vision board, like a little vision board, and it's of women together, like building and creating and shaping the world the way we want to see it.
Yes.
So 2021 for me, that's a really big goal for me, is to have a network of truly revolutionary women who are wanting to change the world for the better, and that we can all do this together somehow. And I can fit into that piece and they fit into a piece, and we're all totally equal and bring the most amazingness together.
Love that. That's awesome. I love that a lot. And last, how do you end the day?
Always walking my dog too. Typically, it's actually working on my vision board because I actually create it inside of Pinterest. Mm-hmm. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm absolutely addicted to my phone. It's terrible. And I found that the best way for me to like make really positive use of my time on my phone versus like aimlessly and mindlessly scrolling and then feeling bad about myself. It's just like what happens. Instead, I've decided I have a secret, like, manifesting vision board on Pinterest, and I go in there and every day I feel like I have like a little something that changes with the way I want to see myself or my business or whatever. So, or things that I want, right? Like something. Right. So, I usually spend the last probably 30 minutes of my day just tinkering with my vision board and making sure that what I've painted for my future is really what I want.
Awesome. Yeah. I love that. I love a vision board. So right there with you, girl.
So important to see those things every day.
It is. No, this has been great. So Mel, I thank you so much for joining me today, taking time out of your schedule to pop in and give us this such great insight, and also these opportunities that you have available for coaching and teaching, educating women, as well as just the opportunities next year where you will be giving back. I think that is amazing. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to help you spread the word.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah, awesome. Well, much success in the future, and please feel free to always come back and visit me here on the Gyrl Podcast.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and stay tuned, guys. I'll be right back.